Thompson here with GSI, and today we're going to review what it takes to get up and running with Oracle's new visual applications. Oracle continues to enhance the user experience and has published several visual applications to assist with various functions within your business. Today's review is focusing specifically on the property location map JET application. Our brief agenda today is going to cover what it takes to get the new property location map up and running in your environment. This is a very easy and quick installation that will require an ESU, a UDO pack, and then deploying those changes out via the normal package deploy process or by approving and sharing the UDO pack. All right, we're going to cover the prerequisites that are required in order to get this functionality going today. Pretty minimal, so Oracle is focused on delivering these in a fashion that makes it easy for customers to take them on. So keep that in mind with any of the JET applications. Generally, it's a very minimal requirement in terms of the prereqs. Many times you might already have it in place, especially if you're at release 22 already. So in order to take advantage of this visual application, you will need to be at a minimum tools version of 9.2.5.4. You will need to take ESU JN19291. I will cover the objects included in that ESU shortly, just for awareness. And then you'll also need to download and install UDO pack 10507. This delivers some UDO objects, one in particular, needed for the visual app to load. Once installed, as I was mentioning previously, you will need to approve and share the UDOs just as you would any other UDO that you develop or install. And then remember, this follows normal development rules. So you will need to promote up to the higher path codes and environments. And for the UDOs, follow the same methodology. So approving and sharing as you move it up. That way it's available for you. All right, I want to run through the objects installed so you can review what's in them. So this is the required ESU. Again, Oracle is targeting specific objects for these rollouts. So it should be no impact, meaning new objects delivered. It should not impact anything that you already have running. In addition, specifically for this particular visual app, all of these objects are delivered as part of release 22. So this ESU actually came out prior to release 22, so it's included in release 22, obviously. If you already are at that level, then you should not need this ESU. Please check and confirm that, obviously, within your environment. And as mentioned, this is the UDO 10507. So the changes on this are after release 22. So no matter if you had all UDO packs at that time, you should review to make sure that you have this update. It does only include one E1 page. Similar to other JET apps, generally the UDO packs only have E1 pages. And then as mentioned, once you put this in place, you do need to approve and share, so that way it becomes active. All right, so we want to review some of the supporting documentation. Put together a couple of reference points here. The first one is the support.oracle.com doc ID. That is the landing page for this functionality and the property location map JET app. So it includes some descriptions on functionality, some of the same material I just covered, and some links to the ESU and UDO just for awareness. This is a good place to start if you just want some other information that isn't what I'm covering today. And then moving on from there, I do have a link to the Apex Apps Guide, which I think is very valuable, specifically for the JET apps, any of them. The links here from the Apex Apps site tend to be really good. We'll cover that here. I'll show you what it looks like. That way you have an idea of what to expect. So if you were to navigate out to that page, you will see this particular page. Again, you do see quite a bit of detail. Obviously, my session has ended. That's okay. You do get a quick tour, which is a Oracle YouTube video. You get a guide, which I'll cover in a few minutes, link to the UDO, a link to the feature, which is the ESU, and then also a link to that support doc that I had just mentioned. I will cancel this since I don't need that. All right, specifically for this UDO, to go over just a brief excerpt from the guide that I had mentioned. So, especially for this functionality, I would advise that you review the guide that's linked off of the Apex Apps link. You will see something similar to this. It actually takes you to this particular guide, which has a lot of data in it. Anyway, I would advise to review that because there is a lot of geolocation data that is utilized for this and to visualize the map. Also, there is some open source software that Oracle uses. So this guide does cover some of that in case that's a security concern for you. I don't necessarily advise the same thing in general for the other JetOps. But for this one, because of the location data, I would definitely bring up that you should review what type of data you are allowed to utilize internally, just in case it does pose a security risk. And again, if you review this guide and then also the doc ID on Oracle support, both of those go over some of the softwares used, specifically the open source software that Oracle uses to be able to present some of this. So definitely worth it. I would advise everyone go out and review this, review the prereqs. The prereqs here are pretty important for that reason. So in addition to what I'm covering here, also go out to our social media. We do post, publish, put out events to cover some of these items in more detail. We have some existing webcasts that are out there specifically doing deep dives into the JetApps. Highly recommend you go out and review those because there's a lot of valuable data. So this particular session is really just meant to be a super high level. This is what you need from a prereq standpoint in order to actually load the application. A lot of the functionality, especially for this one, does deserve more of a deep dive. So we've put together some more deep dive webcasts out there that I think if you're interested in utilizing the functionality of any of the JetApps, it's worth reviewing and viewing those. So I highly recommend you go out and follow us on social. All right, hope everyone learned how easy it is to implement this new visual application today. Thanks for watching, and please, as mentioned, visit our website for more material developed to assist you on your journey through JDE.